Hi, and welcome back to Live Well with Dr. Mel. I'm Dr. Mel, licensed physical therapist and holistic health coach. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. You'll get access to all my free physical therapy tips and tricks. I received a message from Tom Toombs, 1794. He wanted a tutorial on different back bends, bridges, and wheel pose. I'll show you how to get into these different poses safely without risk for injury. Tom, I hope you enjoy the video, and if you guys are ready, let's get started. So before going straight into our back bend, bridge, or wheel pose, I want to first go over safety and form. So when you're going into your back bends, you want to make sure your feet are in neutral. A lot of times I see patients and clients turning their feet out. This puts our hips in external rotation. This will increase compression in your lumbar spine. You want your femurs to internally rotate, and by doing that, you want to squeeze your inner thighs, rotating in, pointing our feet straight. If you're having trouble feeling this, you can use a block and you're just going to squeeze into the block. This is pulling your femur into an internal rotated position, and you're going to feel the opening in your low back when you do this. So give it a try. Turn your feet out first. Feel the compression in your back when you turn your feet out, and then go ahead and turn your feet in, squeezing the block, and feel that release in your lumbar spine. So that's what you want to do. You want to internally rotate the femur, keep the feet straight when you go into any back bend, bridge, or wheel pose. So let's first come to high kneel or camel pose. Let's take our block, put it in between our thighs, squeezing the block with our inner thighs. And when we go into our back bend, we want to bring our pelvis forward, so we're getting the flexibility through our hip flexors. I highly recommend really stretching out your hip flexors before going into your back bend. I have a video, stretches for hip flexors, that you can do before doing this. If you're ready, go ahead and squeeze your glutes, press your pelvis forward so you're getting the bend from the front of your hip flexors rather than just from your lumbar spine. It's really important to use the flexibility of our hip flexors, squeeze our glutes to protect the low back, because you'll hear of a lot of people injuring the lower back because that is the most mobile part of our spine. From L4 to S1, a lot of injury can happen because people overuse this area if they're tight in other areas. So we also want to use our upper thoracic spine as well. We want to open the front of our chest. This area of our spine has a curvature that comes forward, so we're likely to round forward and get a lot of tightness in our front of our chest. It's very important to open up these muscles when doing back bends. If you want to feel this part of the spine so you know what I'm talking about, come to a seated position, place the block right where your bra strap would lie for you ladies, as well as just below the shoulder blades for you men. So you see, that's the area of the thoracic that we need to put into neutral. So let's come back to high kneel for camel pose. We've already showed you how to stretch those hip flexors, so bring those hips forward, stretching the hip flexors. Now let's try to lift the chest like there's a string pulling you up towards the ceiling. And you want to drop those shoulder blades down and back like they're falling into your back pockets. So you want to keep those shoulder blades retracted throughout any back bend. So keeping the shoulder blades contracted, keeping the glute squeezed, and pressing those hips forward when you're performing any bridge or back bend pose. So remembering all those components, let's come into bridge. So starting with our feet, keeping them nice and straight, Squeezing our glutes into touch, begin to lift our hips up. Bringing our shoulder blades together, squeezing, as well as condensing the space between our rib cage and pelvis. The more we squeeze our glutes, the higher our hips raise. Squeeze the glutes into touch, raise the hips up, opening our hip flexors, squeezing our shoulder blades to touch, holding our core tight. Don't allow those feet to come out. They really want to. Keep them nice and straight. And then lower down slowly. So it's the same exact thing for wheel. Place our hands by our ears. Come up to the crown of our head. Our elbows really want to turn out. Make sure our elbows stay directly over our wrists. Keep our feet nice and straight. Press up through our hands. Bring our chest towards the back wall. Try to straighten our elbows. Lift the chest. Tuck the chin. And lower down slowly. Well, that's it. Our tutorial on bridge, back bends, and wheel pose. I hope this helped break it down to make it a little bit easier for you guys. And don't forget, if you like the video, give me a like, as well as comment with any questions, concerns. And please subscribe. I love when my viewers subscribe. Stay healthy, be well, and take care.